Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. And today we do have a little bit more career mode stuff. Don't worry, FUT guys, Ultimate Team guys, there will be plenty of Ultimate Team stuff coming up. I'm sure you guys are very well preoccupied with the web app. Let me know, how are you guys enjoying the web app? What's like the big thing that have you managed to pick up an insane player or anything like that? Let me know in the comments. But we're here with the Ligue 1, or the French League budgets. This is a sort of video series that I've done that people have just really enjoyed seeing, examining the sort of transfer budget and weekly wages. But in front of your eyes right now is AS Monaco, a team that is, in everyone's mind at the moment, and there they go, just 85 million for their transfer budget. That is a lot of money. It isn't as much as PSG. Some people might, have something to say about that, but I personally think that that's a good amount for a Monaco. They've already got a decent side, but I think Monaco would actually be a really interesting team to do a sort of career mode with, just because of the fact that, you have a pretty decent team to start off with, but you can just really add some quality players to that side. And it's because Monaco, they haven't won the league or anything like that, and you can only really do better. As strange as that sounds, they can only really go up the ladder, I suppose. But let's take a look at some of the other teams here. There are a few teams here that I personally am not too familiar with, so excuse my ignorance and things like that. I don't tend to watch the French league too often. I just know of a few of the big teams sort of thing, and I'm sure that's the case with a lot of you UK viewers as well. But I'll show PSG. That's towards the end. If you guys are simply interested in the big squads, then I think PSG is towards the end. So are Marseille and Lyon. They're towards the end of the video. But hope you guys can stick around and enjoy some of this. But yeah, a lot of the other what I found very much about the French league, and I don't think I like it that much, is the fact that there's a few teams out there with huge transfer budgets, but the rest of them all tend to have, 3 million, 2 million, 5 million. There's none really around that 10 to 50 million market to kind of be the middleman, if you will, which is a little bit disappointing. I would have really liked, there to be at least a few teams around that sort of market to kind of bridge the gap between the mega rich and the not so rich, not so wealthy teams. Anyways, the next team we have coming up here is Lille. That's actually one of the teams I am kind of familiar with, and one of the team that kind of just goes against exactly what I said. They do have a 10 million transfer budget, but there's just not enough of these teams, if you know what I mean. They could be a really interesting side. They got Callum there. Yeah, they've definitely got some potential in the side. Then Marseille. Now, I know definitely a few guys are well familiar with Marseille because they are a Champions League football team. They've got 12.5 million as well. So, I guess there are these sort of middle teams, but I suppose what I'm trying to say, I guess I just worded it wrong earlier, is that there's a few teams that just have huge money, just ridiculous money, and the gap is almost way too big. It'd be nice to have, like in the Premier League, for example, you got Man City. They are absolutely loaded. You have Chelsea. They are absolutely loaded. And, it's fine to have those sort of teams, but then you have the teams that kind of bridge that gap. You have the likes of Manchester United. You got Spurs there, Liverpool, Arsenal. They are all got 20 million around there. So the gap isn't so big, whereas in this particular league, there is just a ginormous gap. You got PSG with over 100 million, you got AS Monaco with 85 million, and then next to that you have around the 10 million marker and 12 million, but there's just way too big of a gap between them, which is a little bit disappointing. But that's just the way football is these days, and it's not EA's fault for doing that, because they're just trying to bring realism to it. But speaking of realism, guys, I do want to know, what do you guys think to these transfer budgets? Maybe you support one of these teams that has a 10 million budget. Do you think that is on point? Do you think EA have got the budgets spot on this year? Do you think a team should have more? Do you think they should have less? Let me know in the comments, guys. I'm very interested to hear. Of course, these aren't necessarily the final budgets, because you got to remember, I did this a little while ago, so EA may have tweaked and changed things, but let's be honest, guys, the budgets aren't going to change that dramatically. You're not going to see a team get an extra 10 million in the bank account unless, some Arab takes them over just before the game is released, anything along those lines. But that'll do it for this particular video, guys. Of course, if you guys would like to see my next PSG career mode, if you guys haven't already been checking that, please do. I already started that a little while ago. Go ahead and watch out. I did episode 1 and 2. A lot of people seem to have missed episode 2, so be sure to go and watch that. And yeah, guys, that'll be that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and of course, be sure to leave a like, and I'll see you guys around. Bye bye.